This will not come easy, what I have to say tonight, but I do want to address my constituents and the people of Roselle. In 2012, I was given the amazingly great opportunity to serve the residents of the Fifth Ward of Roselle as successor by appointment to Christine Dansoro. I again had the privilege of running in that year's primary and winning the vote of the people by 99% of the voting population. At that time, as now, it has always been and always will be a privilege to serve the constituents of the Fifth Ward. However, after much introspection and discussion with my council colleagues, I am admittedly at a different place and season of my life than when I first started this journey. Just last week, I celebrated my daughter's 13th birthday and quickly realized that I have a teenager in the house. And I'm watching my 9-year-old son growing up into a little man right before my eyes. In the fall of last year, I also started working again at a law firm in New York City that is extremely rewarding, but time-consuming and demanding. Quite frankly, I have to go back to work after this meeting. So, while it has in no way diminished my love for the residents of the Fifth Ward, I do realize the need to make a hard choice and choose to focus on where my commitments will be. While I certainly do not agree with the way certain issues were raised in the media prior to speaking with me first, the public discourse actually forced the necessary conversation with my family and my council colleagues that needed to occur. So as much as I have enjoyed serving the residents of Roselle, the reality is my family will always be my first and foremost priority. It is for this reason that I have decided to resign from my position as Fifth Ward Councilman, effective February 27, 2015, so that I can focus on the needs of my family. I just want to say thank you to all of the Fifth Ward residents who I had a chance to serve while I was here in office. To my residents on Uncas, I'm very glad that we were actually able to get, parking permits done so that, the visitors to Central Park would not be such an intrusion. And to my residents on Stanley Terrace, we fought hard, we finally got the paving done, you've got sidewalks, so I know I leave with a legacy. I just want to thank you all for your kindness and support. I know the Fifth Ward will be in the capable hands of a successor who's chosen by the Roselle Democratic Committee and the good people of the Fifth Ward. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Service. I know it's a very difficult situation. We're juggling a family, a business, and a political career. I'm glad that you've come to your decision the way you've come to it. We wholeheartedly support that. In the event in the future that we can work together on any matters that deal with the Fifth Ward or the community at large, please feel free to reach out to myself or any other members here on the council. We wish you well, we wish your family well, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Wish you well, too.
Councilman?
And then somehow tonight we didn't see the ordinance, but I do have a couple of points that I need to add if we're going to amend the ordinance. For whatever reason, we didn't do it tonight, but the number one issue that I need to add on the ordinance that would be to address the bylaws is to add the nepotism to the bylaws. No council members should have spouses, husbands, partners, or kids work for the Borough of Roselle. Being that we are a weak mayor and strong council, no mayor, no matter who it is, who's going to be, should have a security guard and a driver and a car driving by the Borough of Roselle without the approval of the Borough Council. That's a weak council, strong council, weak mayor. I repeat, this is a strong council, weak mayor. No mayor, no matter who it is, should be driving a security guard and a car paid for by taxpayers.
That's true. That's not true.
I'm a taxpayer, I pay 2 taxes. Whatever it is, that shouldn't be happening in the Borough of Roselle. It's a small town. Linden will have a city. The mayor doesn't have a driver. Elizabeth, the mayor doesn't have a driver, he doesn't have a security. I'm against it. It wasn't approved by the board, council, so whoever approved it, whoever's gonna be mayor, please don't think you're gonna have that.
Doesn't have nothing to do with your taxes. Nothing to
Get
do
it,
with
baby.
your taxes.
Get it.
Don't start.
So in that instance, I think I'm gonna keep it short for tonight. I just want to thank all the residents for their support because while Councilman Locke gave me that news, I tried to convince him not to walk away. I myself was sitting down and asked to resign. They asked me to resign, they asked me to step down, and then I said no, because at the end of the day, the resident is the one that voted. It's your vote that put people in power. And I'm here for you. I know, like I talked to my family, they told me not to talk tonight because I've already been a victim where my cars were attacked by spray painted. Councilmen were involved also. Like I told my family where I came from. And then I remember that I'm from Haiti and I'm proud to be a Haitian American. In Haiti, they do policy with gun. Here, they do the speech. And that's what I'm doing tonight. What I disagree with, I've been silent. But when you disagree with something, you have to tell it openly. Because at the end of the day, there is no respect for the seniority. I started in policy on the same time with Mayor Holly. I served 12 years in 2 different branches. And I'm on my 15th year services now, going toward that. And I don't think there's a respect for the seniority. When there's respect for it, I accept it. But at the end of the day, nobody can tell me to get out until my term in 2017. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Here, here.
There are a few statements that I'd like to speak to as they were addressed.
Sure, no problem, Council President. And Councilman Albert, thank you very much.
Also, may I?
So, residents, I think it's very important that we all remember that none of us are sitting up on this dais for ourselves. We're here because you asked us to be here and to be your voice. And anytime we are not present at a voting meeting, that means you're not voting on various issues. You don't have a voice, you are not speaking to the matters because the representative that you elected is not here. So it is not a personal thing, it is about the residents. And anytime I don't go to work, I get docked. And I'm sure everybody else in this audience can relate to that. You have to show up and do your job. It's a simple matter. And frankly, to state that this has not been discussed, it has been discussed. It's been discussed for over a year. The reality is, Councilman Locke is our colleague, and as long as Councilman Locke and any other council person is here, sleeves rolled up, doing the work, we support that individual. But if you're not present, we can't support you. In regards to the bylaws, yes, the bylaws should be amended because it is important that we show up for you. So I wholeheartedly support that. The reason why it wasn't presented tonight is because we want to make sure we do it right. We want to make sure that the language speaks to all of the councilperson's needs as well as the residents' needs so that we can show up and be present for you. So you can expect to see those bylaws discussed here next month. In regards to the other matters that were brought up that should be amended in terms of the bylaws, according to Councilman Auburn, I find it interesting that you make that recommendation after your child no longer works for the borough. And on that note, Mayor, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want this to turn into a bit of a circus that I see it moving forward. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Council President. Councilwoman at-large Dansborough.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very disappointed about what just took place, but understanding this, that, we live in a democracy, freedom of speech, that doesn't always mean that people exercise that freedom with decorum. This was disheartening in the respect that I have always shown, myself personally, and I know everybody else here, has shown a great deal of respect for our colleagues. I was the one who brought Councilman Locke into the fold, I felt, and believed that he would be able to support and represent the Fifth Ward to the best of his ability. Sometimes things happen. There have been multiple discussions with him. I'm sorry that Councilman Alber saw fit to describe him as if he were put out, or bullied out in that way, or that he himself was asked to resign. I could tell you, point blank, there came a vacancy, as long as we're being honest here. A vacancy came up where we had a redevelopment director who was leaving. And simultaneously, it was also pre-campaign time where the question was, our experienced former UEZ coordinator and also knowledgeable about redevelopment, perhaps he would be more interested in that position, since it's very important and a key role that we need going forward in the Borough of Roselle. He mistook it for trying to get rid of him from the responsibilities of the council person. Just so you understand, he couldn't have held both positions. He could not be a redevelopment coordinator paid by the borough and also be a council person. We felt he deserved that option, and it would have been, we thought, a great benefit to the borough and the community at large, as well as ourselves, because we have a lot of, projects in the air that are going to be going forward. So, while I appreciate what seems like candidness, I'm disheartened by the fact that you've been misled about what supposedly was the reason that this discussion took place. Throughout this campaign, he was supported. In fact, my colleague over here, who recently took over the Third Ward, was there trying to support him, as we all did, when he made that decision not to take the job, but to run and move forward, okay, and as a councilman. We continue, and I pride myself in particular, of being transparent and open and communicating, no matter what our differences are. So anything that I chair, and I'm sure that Councilman Locke will agree with me, and also Councilman Alber, anything I've chaired that they've been on, that they have not been able to attend, which quite frequently happens, okay, to the point of, not having their voice and their input, as smart as they both are. I'm not the smartest apple in the bunch always. And I recognize that there are other people that need and should contribute. But if you're not there to contribute, it makes me alone by myself making these decisions. So we're a team. We should never be alone. We're all, elected to be a team. So I would contact them if they missed it, because I didn't want them walking into a vote not being fully aware of what was put on the table, what we were discussing, and what the benefits to the community would be. Hopefully they would be fully understanding what was going on. It's always better to be there, as our council president said, but nevertheless, I wanted them to be informed. Quite frequently, you heard stories I never read about it, I never heard it, no one talked to me, no one communicated. I can show you emails, texts, and phone calls that don't lie. I always communicate. People almost, if I have a fault at all, it's over-communicated, okay? This was a shock and a surprise to me. It's a real shock and a surprise to me, especially on this very important time. No matter what our differences are and what our disagreements are, you put us in office to work for you. Essentially, we're your employee. 7 days a week. Not 2 days a week, not 1 day a week, but 7 days a week. And at any given time, you should be able to contact and reach us at some point. Leave a message, we'll get back to you. And we will share with you what it is, we can do to help. And that's not easy, but it has to be done. And it's a commitment, and it's a passion, and it's a dedication. And if you do not have that, you need to have the responsibility to say, I can't do it. I wish I could, I had good intentions, but I have to step away. And so, again, I am so sorry that this had to come up tonight. It was totally unexpected, and I hope that in the future, these issues that have come up will disappear, but I also realize it's heading toward campaign season. So it doesn't surprise me that this time, you know, the attack has already begun. Unfortunately, I didn't think it was gonna come from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Dansville, and thank you everyone who's joined us here tonight on this last meeting that I am going to be presiding over as the mayor of Roselle. 75 streets paved, 10-year sidewalk plan, 20-year road and pavement management plan, retrofitting storm drain outlets, the Westbrook flood project completed, the FEMA flood management plan submitted, renovations of the police department, audio-visual upgrades to Baker Room, audio-visual upgrades to council chambers, replace municipal fleet, install solar panels at Borough Hall, new copiers, upgrades to TV 34, TV 37, upgrades to Borough website, installation of Edmonds financial system, installation of public stuff and property pilot information systems, improvements of our community center, installation of new air conditioning units, emergency management coordinators installed, hired full-time CFO, hired full-time recreation leader, hired sanitation inspectors, increased staff at DPW, hired business administrator, purchasing agent. Roselle Senior Housing Project tonight has been finalized. The Huddle House will be coming to Roselle. The Roselle Restaurant will be coming to Roselle. The Mind and Body Complex will be coming to Roselle. The Armenio Sports Field will be reconstructed. The Roselle Golf Course redevelopment plan is complete. 2nd Avenue parking lot, demolition of several homes, renovation of Chandler Avenue Park, renovation of Pine Street Park, renovation of Dr. Charles C. Polk, renovation of Sylvester Land Field, Chestnut Streetscape Project, in-house recycling pickup, in-house garbage pickup, energy aggregation program, increased number of shared services contracts with other municipalities, sale of Sheridan Gardens at $1 million, sale of 250 West 2nd Avenue, renter property registration, vacant property registration, sale of borough-owned lots that brought in new revenue for the borough, establish fees for borough services at the community center, Roselle First Youth Services, Roselle First Adult Services. Easter Seals Program, Coffee with a Cop, Hispanic Latino Affairs Office, Senior Advisory Board, Roselle Office of Service and Engagement, Recreational Opportunities for Individuals with Disabilities Summer Camp, Recycling Cans to Residents Throughout Cleaning Communities Grant, House Music Festival, 5K Run, Cancer Walk, Summer Concerts, Plant Trees, Greenery, $9.1 million in grants, Multicultural Fair and Festival. That has been my focus since I arrived here 10 years ago. I have always been a consummate gentleman. I've always been respectful to my colleagues. I do not engage in negativity. I've always been positive. I've always included my council colleagues in every single thing that I've done here on this dais. Whether or not they choose to be a team or not, that's their prerogative. But my heart is in the right place. As I move on to this next journey, I won't be leaving Roselle. I'll still be staying here and living in Roselle. But what I won't take is people to continue to try to take down people whose hearts are in the right place. I've had an amazing experience here working with all these individuals here on the council. They're incredibly great people. They have great families. I feel like I'm a part of their family at times. You know, disagreements are disagreements, but facts remain facts. The record is the record. What I read to you was just partly of the highly administrative record, along with this borough council that I work with day in and day out. I will continue to work with each and every one of them, whether they want to or not. My phone will always be available to each and every one of them. My phone calls will always be, their phone calls will always be returned, whether they want me to or not to. To the residents of Roselle, thank you. This has been an incredible journey for me. It is you, Roselle, who has given me the ability to be where I am today. I will not take that for granted. As I move on out of Roselle in terms of elective office, I will always remember the education, the people, the community that gave me everything that I have here today. To my administrative staff, to our professionals, I want to thank you so much for everything that you've done. And I know we've had some wars, and I know we've had some challenging times. Some were great, some were bad, but they were good times. And I'm gonna miss all of you, working with you on a day-to-day. But my office is only in Union, so you can always come have lunch with me. It doesn't really feel like I'm going anywhere. As weird as it may seem. But it has been an incredible journey, and I really appreciate everyone's support that they have rendered to me over the years. I will have that same passion, I will have that same dedication that I had here in Roselle, that I will still have in Trenton. All of you are invited to the public ceremony, which will be held on February 23rd at the State House at 12 noon. All of you are invited. Again, to my colleagues, to the administrative staff, to the community, thank you so much for everything you've done.